My name's Steve Kavanagh, and I'm running for Regional Councillor in Wards 3 and 4 in Brampton. Firstly, let me thank the organizers of these videos. I think it's a great idea to take videos of candidates and post them to Facebook or websites. The more people that come out and vote on election day, the better it is for all democracy, quite frankly. And Brampton, as we know, the statistics show that there's generally low turnout, and that's complacency on behalf of the voters. And I'll talk a bit about complacency in a few more minutes. Couple of things about me. I've been the elected trustee for the Peel District School Board for Wards 5 and 4 for the last 16 years, and for 8 years I was also the trustee for Ward 6, and the area is mostly being absorbed by Ward 4 in the south end. So I do know the area, and I've worked for that area and those constituents for the last 16 years. So it seemed a natural thing to me, as I got quite perturbed, quite frankly, with the current behavior of City Council and the audit results that came out, and quite frankly the cavalier attitude that councillors and other members of council seem to have, that oh well, we made some mistakes. Well, we all make mistakes, but you own up to the mistakes and you don't continue with those kinds of mistakes. For those of you who don't know, Wards 3 and 4, they start at the intersection of Steeles and Mississauga Road. It goes north to Queen Street, straight across Queen Street to Dixie, down Dixie, along the south boundaries or the 407 until Mavis, and then jogs up to Steeles again at Mavis, Chinguacousy, and then goes again all the way back to Mississauga Road. So it's a very large area, a lot of communities in that area, and I'll talk a bit more about the communities as well. But a little bit more about me, because a lot of folks may not know me. I've been married for 42 years to, believe it or not, my high school sweetheart, Penny. She and I have 3 adult children and 2 young grandchildren. All 3 kids were born at Peel Memorial Hospital, and our grandchildren were born at Brampton Civic Hospital. So our roots are here in Brampton. I've worked in healthcare for over 40 years, including 17 years at Peel Memorial Hospital, and I'm currently the director of operations for Peel Senior Link. And Peel Senior Link provides personal support and home help to seniors to assist them to continue to live in their own apartments, their own homes, wherever they live within Brampton and Mississauga. That's what seniors want to do, and that's what our organization does for them. So why am I running for the position of regional councillor? I've been a trustee for 16 years, but why am I going for regional council? Well, simply put, I actually do believe that government must work effectively and efficiently, adding value to the residents, making lives better by providing the right services and infrastructure. And those are the right services and infrastructure at the right time, in the right place, right quantity, and certainly the right quality, to the right people, and very important, at the right price. As your trustee in Ward 4, I promised Ward 4 new schools, and I delivered on those new schools. I promised addition to some existing schools, and I delivered. I promised more busing, and I delivered. Not a lot, but I did deliver some more busing for children going to school. I promised to be fiscally responsible, and I delivered consistently the lowest personal expenses of any trustee on the board. We post them on our website. You can check it out if you like at Peel District School Board. I promised to be fiscally responsible. I'm emphasizing this a second time. I voted for balanced budgets for 17 years, and for 16 of those 17 years we balanced the budget at year end. One year we had a small deficit and we had enough of a reserve to cover that. That's what fiscal responsibility means. I promised new ways of doing things as a trustee, and I delivered the only 2 balanced calendar schools in all of Peel. I had those schools built, quite frankly, both Bondar and Ray Lawson. I did this because when I talked to that community as the community was just developing, I talked to them about schools, and they wanted an all year experience. They thought the 2 months off in July and August was too long. I consulted, I listened, I took it to the board, I supported the motions to build both schools, I supported the motion that Bondar be a balanced calendar school as a trial, because that's how I got it through. And then 5 years later, I took the results back to the board and said, okay, we've proved the case, I want a second school. And I got the second school. There are no other balanced calendar schools in Peel region. I delivered those. The issues that I see in this election, and they're not always just in this election, many of them are issues at all times. One is about building trust in the Brampton Council. It's not there at the moment, and that's a shame. That really is, and in the Regional Council. I have a reputation at the school board for insisting that the rules of order be observed and enforced. I'm somewhat proud that I've raised points of order at more meetings than anyone ever has in the history of the board. I have no hesitation in challenging who's ever presiding over the meeting, whether it's the chair of the board, the vice chair, the chair of a committee. It doesn't matter to me. If the rules aren't being observed or if someone violates something technically, I bring it up. Brampton Council, in my opinion, has eroded significant public trust through their constant infighting from one side of the table to the other side of the table. There's obviously camps on the current council, and it's time that we do something about it. I'm very proud of the work of the Peel District School Board. I'll be very honest about that. But we've had a process where, quite frankly, we can argue positions all the time. But when the gavel comes down at the end of a meeting, that's it. It's done. There's no grudges. There's some talk. There's some handshakes, and we get on with it. And we've done that the entire time I've been on the board. And so that's what I intend to bring. I don't know, I may not be able to convince other councillors or council members to do that, but that's the way I will behave, quite frankly. I'm interested in establishing an excellent working relationship, not only with council, but with senior staff at the city, with frontline staff at the city. I'm one of those folks, I like to get out and walk about. So, you know, one of the things I love to do is go for long walks. I will go for a 5K walk about 3 times a week, and on the weekend, it's a 10K-er. And I like to walk the trails, I like to walk the streets. Depending on the traffic, I'll walk the trails because it's much quieter. And when I'm doing that, I'm out and seeing communities generally early in the day. You know, I'm usually out walking at 6 or 7. And I see the communities as most people would like to see the communities. Calm and relaxed and no hustle bustle. Okay. So I believe in building trust, and I think it starts at council because that's what the community wants. I believe in transparency, and I will be very transparent about my personal expenses as a council member and about my council behavior. I will spend according to the rules, and I will actually post my spending on my own website so that people can see it long before council posts those kinds of things. I will not accidentally or purposefully use the purchase cards of the city for personal gain. If I want to buy something for a friend, I'll pay for it with my other card. It's that simple. I believe that traffic congestion is worsening in the city. We need to look at traffic light controls. We need to stop wasting infrastructure. Chinguacousy Road, it was built to 5 lanes just a few years ago. Not the moment it's done, we rip it all up, and we're just finishing it south of Steeles to 7 lanes. What a waste of money that was. And that's your money and that's my money, and that really makes me upset. And the final thing I want to talk about is community engagement. I will host, and I'll invite the city councillor who gets elected to host with me and the 2 local trustees to have community meetings every quarter so that we can listen to what people say. And we'll post answers to the questions again on a website. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate the opportunity to speak to you like this. If you wish to contact me, you can visit my website, stevekavanagh.com. That's STEVEKAVANAGH.com. Thank you very much.